I really needed a shower before we get started on this, because it will get dirty. Yeah, this doesn't make sense, but now you already got the logical vibe this video is about. So let's talk about community, weird claims, and a talking anime cat. Right after the intro.
Looks radical. Keep this style. Having watched Luca the Guide for too
would
long,
flay the ship
however,
verbally
I know
cause it
exactly
doesn't
what she
have
will
optimized
no
separate
magazine. She has no sorters force-feeding turrets, no anti-light
Great
ship
build
defense,
but turret
and
placement
possibly
is off.
worst sin,
They need
no
clear
super line of
firing.
sight forward. They are blocking each other.
Stop. What the hell is going on here? So what is going on here is a YouTube channel called Luca the Guide, or to be exact about that, Luca's category
Critical Ship Review.
Actually, Luca does have some content with good points about game mechanics in Space Engineers. Some of them are about power efficiency, some are about weapons, but most of her pumped out 2 videos per day contain very questionable theories about the right things to do in specific situations that only Luca says about to be the standard scenarios. Well, actually, it's only one scenario it's all about, and she's repeating that on and on and on and on and on again. At least when it's about her weird critical ship reviews. And that one scenario everything in Space Engineers is about is warfare. But hold on, not various kinds of situations where enemies meet each other. And that one and only imaginable scenario is 2 ships flying head-on towards each other and start shooting. Okay?
Gentlemen, aim your pistols. One, 2, 3.
Therefore, ships have to meet Luca's requirements only, which are 20k of PCU, a ton of forward-facing firepower, as much upward thrust as possible, and to be capable of landing anywhere. Oh man, seems I'm playing a penis complex simulator. Now you might say, why not ignoring her? Well, just keep these comments in mind you have seen in the beginning of this video, and then let us take a look into one of her so-called critical ship reviews.
I guess.
Where I come from, we say moin. Just kidding.
So this is the EMC Aurora by Allied Armor. I remember the name this time. So anyway, let's do a quick fly around here. Some thruster, a collection of thrusters, and some thruster skirt. Not really. Alright, that's the whole exterior. And the ship costs 18,726 PCU.
Almost on point, a good one.
I noticed this kind of tilt here. This is obviously a subgrid here, and that can be a problem.
No shit, Sherlock. Well, we will come back to her contempt for subgrids later.
There's a window there. Is there like a room in there? I don't think so. We're gonna check that later. Alright, so in terms of armament, there's an assault cannon turret that is facing backward for some reason.
Oh, there's a good one incoming. Just listen to her carefully.
So like I mentioned in one of my videos, turret orientation matters. But since the front is kind of blocked by these custom turrets anyway, it doesn't really matter.
So her conclusion about turrets is orientation matters, but in this case it doesn't because it's blocked anyway. Well, let's take a look at her builds. So rear turrets facing forward into a blocked position. Well, maybe she wasn't that satisfied with her own bridge design. Maybe.
What the orientation of that turret is. And over here, we have a custom turret using the token. Alright,
Yeah, everything that is subgrid for aesthetically pleasing design is lovable. But for now she wants to stay serious, so please calm down.
stuff, you can just get a normal turret. Or you can get the same amount of weapon using the large grid cannons or railguns. So I know this looks really cool, but realistically speaking, this is a worse weapon than a large grid weapon. Alright?
No, Luca, it's not alright. It's obsolete. Because I'm pretty sure Allied Armor knows about the differences. But for his build, he wanted a ball turret.
Same goes here. I do like this graded catwalk here. I really like when ships are walkable or at least designed to look like they are able to be maintained. That's always cool to see.
Well, that's basic game facts, isn't it? Because everyone knows naked armor blocks, as used with most ships, are lava. And also, yeah, these are cool wasted PCU, not like other details. Just wait for it, she will play that game even harder.
And a plus point if they can actually be walk on. There's some heat fan here. Gyroscope.
Spoiler alert, there's barely any 10 seconds she doesn't drop one of her funny bombs.
Is that light armor? Reinforced conveyor. Well, at least it's sitting on a reinforced conveyor instead of just a conveyor, but still.
Whew, Allied Armor, seems you were half lucky today. Well, at least for someone who has armor in his name. Because...
Ideally, you want your gyroscopes to be sitting on things that are as strong as possible.
just like every other subsystem you have on your ship. Well, except this specific gyroscope, because it is for detailing anyway. You can tell by looking at the surrounding parts. And in a couple of minutes, Luca will tell us this ship has too many gyroscopes anyway. And even that won't be the end about this gyroscope thing.
There's this recessed connector here. This gonna be a problem when you're trying to connect with something that might not necessarily be designed for this ship here.
Just as I said, that was another 10 seconds. It's not my fault. Okay, let's talk about this one. And I want to do that in a strict logical way, just like Luca tries to do it when she comes to her conclusions. So let's imagine what we would dock on if we were flying this ship. Well, either our own station or maybe those of friends we were on Discord with. And in both cases, it's pretty easy to tell. There's an option to let the connector of the station stick out one more block to get a proper connection. And the good thing about it is the ship can stay as nice and clean as it is. And even if we were in battle, there's a good chance a cheaper armor block next to the connector gets a hit instead of the more expensive connector. So what?
Same goes here, you can very easily damage these subgrids here or all these things here if you try to connect with something that is not really compatible.
Sounds like the story she getting into space engineers.
Thrusters here. Small. Wait, I thought these were small hydrogen tanks.
Come on, if you can't divide these two from each other, one thing is questionable. 5,000 hours of gameplay? What have you done all the time?
Well, these are fine. These are only one PCU, so they are nice looking aesthetic parts when done that way. That's actually quite smart how they made them look like hydrogen tanks or fuel tanks. I will probably steal that design ID on some of my builds later.
Don't get me wrong, this is absolutely fine. Sometimes I'm doing that too. But since Luca is allergical to any decorative block that is above 1 PCU, let me check something. Sorry, but it won't help anything.
Alright, so this is not how you want to design your diagonal armor. You want to use as little subgrid as possible because they are very problematic.
And there it is again. Okay. Subgrids are problematic. But after 5,000 hours, and while having a YouTube channel for advanced game mechanics, you should know some solutions. And speaking of these solutions, here's a little announcement about my own channel. I'm planning on a couple of videos about how to handle subgrids and even how to bring blueprint subgrids into survival. And if you don't want to miss that, you may subscribe to this channel. But let's get back to Luca and her kindly expressed allergical reactions.
We have some thruster skirt here with the railings, which I guess are, well, nice looking aesthetic part there. And down here, refinery, large cargo container. More of those turrets there, those custom turrets, ion thrusters, assault cannons. Well, at least they do have a railgun.
One of my favorite parts.
So technically speaking, the ship does have a chance against faster ships.
Very well and technically spoken. Because from a shooter player to a real jet fighter pilot, everyone knows if you have a fast-moving opponent, you need a weapon that has a shot rate of 1 shot per 20 seconds and an input lag of at least 2 to 3 seconds. That's the best you can have against fast-moving opponents. Really, absolutely. Conclusion. Well, everyone besides my wife, who said, this sounds weird. But what does she know as an Olympic-level professional sports shooter?
Let's get inside now. I don't see any solar panel. I do prefer for ships to have solar panels.
No. You prefer to have one solar panel on dozens of batteries, while telling people not to have that many reactors, but more batteries.
Oh, there we go. Can you close the airlock? Well, at least you can close the airlock manually. You know how in some builds you cannot open the airlock manually? That's always a bad design idea. Alright, conveyor pipe, army lockers. This is a fairly simple airlock. Let's get, oh, so the airlock is locked, never mind. So this is a very bad design idea for the reasons I've mentioned in the video I linked before.
Okay, let's give her a point for that airlock thing, because manually controlled airlocks can be frustrating.
And in here we have the same thing here. Oxygen tank, storage shelf, cargo container, LCD panel. I do like how they use these sci-fi interior walls here. It can add a lot of atmospheric vibe to a ship if used properly. Warfare battery. Some kind of interior gripping here. Air fan. Alright, crew quarters. So ideally your whole interior can just have a single door, and you can just use like passage blocks to divide your rooms, and that way you don't need as many doors, and you also don't need as many air vents, and you will save a lot of PCU if you compartmentalize, that's a hard word, your rooms that way. Alright?
I have 2 really mean words for you. They are airtight sections. Besides from your ongoing bashing against immersion, they are a thing. At least if you don't want to lose all your oxygen from the first hit of your favorite weapon. And also there's a game option to turn off oxygen bottles. So the first hit into your hull will kill you.
So this is the crew quarter. We have some custom turret controller, planters. I like planters, they always look nice. Some neon decoration, more turret controllers. The console block here with the projection of the ship there. Looking out the window, I actually kind of like the vibe of this whole area here. It does feel briefing roomy. And over here, oh, this is the warfare ion thruster. Interesting. Conveyor pipe. Here's the gravity generator. Well, I guess this is a good feature if you want to save some electricity or fuel, so you can quickly turn on and off your gravity generator. Alright, more doors there. Oh, this is the crew quarters, so that was like the hangout area or something. They use the bedroom here. That's good because the bedroom has more privacy compared to the toilet. And basically the same room over here. Conveyor pipe. Weapon rack. An interior turret.
And once again, she found something that is worth a mocking laughter. Let's listen to her theory just for destroying it with one sentence.
So the thing about interior turrets inside enclosed rooms like this is that you're assuming the person that's gonna board your ship is gonna use your ship's hallway. But the more likely scenario is that whoever is boarding your ship will most likely just grind inside from somewhere else. Like they can literally just grind through your ship into the components or internal components. Alright?
And no enemy ever accidentally or knowingly reached the hallway. So why not giving them a direct free passage through? Instead of letting them work for it. Saves time for everyone involved if they just leave the safe open.
Beam block here. Is that a remote control? Oh no, there's a timer block. Interesting. So the ship has timer blocks on both sides of the hallway there. And I think this is the CIC. Alright. You have a lot of panels.
I'm pretty sure they made you recognize it as the CIC.
So I never really commented on this before, but
Please don't do this. Please. Please don't do this now.
you don't need panels that are showing what you can already see on your heads-up display.
No! No. This is called immersion. They even made you think this is the CIC.
So ideally they should be showing other things that you don't already know if you're gonna put them in the ship's CIC or control station's room or something. Basically wherever there's like a control seat, you don't need them to show those things that are usually shown on your HUD anyway. These are probably better put on places that you don't necessarily know the condition of these things that are shown on the screen, like maybe in engineering or something.
Okay, at least they are showing something when you're not sitting in a cockpit. And if someone wants to run scripts on this ship, on the other hand, Luca does like the blue engine glow from the spotlights, which are 25 PCU each. And they are okay for... what? At this point, even the announcement of Fast and Furious 10 doesn't seem that much of a bad idea.
Alright, we have more timer blocks here behind the vertical windows. And I'm guessing this is engineering.
Noticeably it is, as long as you don't clear the pipes away.
Alright. We have a refinery here, reactor. A large reactor. There's a spotlight. I'm guessing this is for the lighting or atmospheric lighting of the thrusters back there. Alright, some more atmospheric lighting with oxygen tank there. More gyroscopes that are, well, sitting on light armor.
Maybe it's time for a brave theory from my side. Maybe Luca experienced one luck shot that hit that one light armored block row which kept all her gyroscope together. And now she has kind of a gyroscope trauma that forces her to put gyroscopes only on heavy armor blocks. Does that make sense?
That's a bad idea. And up here, what is this place? Oh wait, that's the CIC from before, and this is the maintenance tunnel. Alright. I do like the fight of this whole place here. You guys see that? It's a really nice fight down here with the dim light and stuff. So we have access to conveyors down there. And this is the end of the maintenance tunnel. Now, if you want your maintenance tunnel to be more practical, you can use this passage block here instead of this one. This passage block here. Because with this passage block, you can access more of the things on the sides of the maintenance tunnel. Alright, let's go back up here now. I'm guessing this is the same room. And there's like a ladder shaft up here. Oh, another interior turret here. Again, people won't be using... Oh, this is the top entrance, I'm guessing. So yeah, this is the whole interior of the ship. Let's check the internals now. So the ship only has 2 hydrogen tanks, which is fine because the ship is pretty much fully ion thrusters. The ship doesn't have any refinery or assembler. That's bad because the ship can totally be filled with refineries and assemblers, and it's gonna make the ship a lot more useful. There's 3 oxygen tanks, that's very reasonable. Alright, the ship only has 3 batteries. You totally want more batteries because you don't want to rely on your reactors. So the thing with batteries is that you can easily spread them across your ship and they will function just fine. And it's gonna make your ship a lot more survivable and also a lot cheaper than just relying on reactors. The ship doesn't have any hydrogen engines or solar panel.
A lot of blah 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 about filling the ship with more components instead of having room for immersion. But now, once again, it's about gyroscopes.
Where's the gyroscopes? I guess they changed the name of the gyroscopes. Oh, there we go. There's the gyroscopes. The ship totally doesn't need this many gyroscopes.
Because she already absolutely knows how many gyroscopes this ship needs.
I've mentioned this in another video. There's a certain point in how fast your ship can turn where it doesn't really give you anything. So unless you're using your gyroscopes for armor, there's really no reason to have this many gyroscopes.
Wait a minute!
So you're telling me gyroscopes can be armor, but they always have to sit on heavy armor blocks? And besides this, from your standard, they can be used as armor, which imaginable the creator did, but they are still too many? Also, you are seeming to be sure that these are too many gyroscopes, but you can't tell anything about a decent number?
So the ship has a single survival kit there, and there's no medical room. So at least the ship has some very basic level of production with the survival kit there. There's no safe zone. There's so many air vents there. You can totally reduce the amount of air vents if you use less doors. And that's the amount of thrusters that the ship has here. Alright, this is the whole interior. Let's fly the ship now. So the ship accelerates really well actually for an ion thruster ship. Oh, the ship weighs 2.6 kilotons by the way. So judging from the weapon placement, I'm guessing the ship can either shoot forward or be used to fire broadside with the turrets. The upward thrust of the ship.
Oh, for Luca, this is one of the big things.
Well, it's pretty decent. I mean, you're not gonna be able to dodge too much by thrusting upward with this amount of thrust, but it's pretty decent. You can probably dodge some artillery or railgun fire if you're far enough.
Luca's conclusion about dodging is this. In a three-dimensional space, where there's no real up and down, it only works with upward thrust.
Oh, by the way, do you guys see that light beam there from the thruster bank on the back there? So I guess that's what the spotlights we saw earlier is for. That's pretty cool actually.
Finally, some Luca-approved decorative PCU without any further benefit. Actually.
Because that makes the thrusters look a lot more powerful or atmospheric than they normally do.
Immersion. Do you feel it?
In terms of turning speed, well, the ship is actually quite heavy to turn, but still, I don't think you need that many gyroscopes still.
That's the cherry on top, isn't it?
So yeah, I don't think the ship can fly on planets, but I think it can probably fly on the moon, so we're gonna try that now. There you go. So the ship can fly just fine on moon gravity. I mean moon gravity, wait, I think that's upside down actually. There you go, that's the right way around now. So yeah, it's certainly a very nice looking ship. I do like the aesthetic works of the ship.
No, you don't. If you would, you won't try to kill it. The only thing you are doing is trying to make this beautiful piece of art one of your things. And the result is some people do believe this weird stuff. To be exact, these people who started not only flooding my comment section, but other content creators as well. They are commenting with requirements no one ever wanted to meet, no one ever asked for, and that are even false claims. And it's not only on the channels of the content creators. I also got messages about people acting like that on game servers and in social networks. So, in all kindness, just ask yourself one question. There are so many build reviews on YouTube. Why have you been the first one doing it like that? And to everyone watching this is not a bashing. As I said before, Luca does have some strong points. And these are worth a subscribe. So let's push that instead of toxic discussion that don't lead to anything. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching, and there won't be outro music today. I'll just go and get some sleep. See you. Bye.